Let me bring in NBC's Garrett Haake, who is joining me now from Atlanta. And Garrett, let's be clear here, right? Is the news that something may come out of this hearing, or is the news that the hearing is happening at all, right? And I guess what I'm trying to say is some of these Democrats who are against changing the Senate rules to get some of this voting rights legislation done are making incredibly clear they're not willing to be budged. They're not moving right now. So while there's a lot of talk on this, are you seeing much action or the potential for it?
I think the news here was the hearing itself, Hallie. This is a microcosm of what we're seeing with Democrats in the Senate in general, which is they are bumping up against the limits of what you can do with a 50-vote majority. A 50-vote majority isn't much of a majority at all with this filibuster rule, that 60-vote threshold, in place for passing most legislation. And so you're seeing Democrats try to find ways to think creatively on some of these issues, like holding a field hearing, which is going to get way more coverage than a traditional hearing just sitting around in the Rules Committee room back in D.C. Senator Klobuchar, the chairman of this committee, made the point to me that she'd like to see some voting rights provisions try to be included in that reconciliation bill, which can pass with only 50 votes. That would be unusual. There was talk about the various lawsuits, the DOJ, all the different ways that Democrats can try to influence this debate, even if they can't pass what is kind of the mother lode for them, the For the People Act bill. I also asked Alex Padilla, the Democratic senator from California, who's a member of this committee, about this idea that if you don't change the filibuster rules, this is all for show. And he said this is a conversation he continues to have with his fellow former state-level Secretary of State, Joe Manchin, back in Washington. Here's what he told me.
Look, I've sat with Joe Manchin. He and I are two of the few former state secretaries of state walking through the For the People Act and why each of these measures are important. So there may be some tweaks in order to get this right. But, I think even Senator Manchin respectfully sees the significance of this.
Hallie, all that suggests to me, this hearing suggests to me that some of this is being done for the benefit of Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema and other filibuster reform skeptical Senate Democrats to say, look, we are trying everything. And if you, in fact, do agree that these issues are so important, there's going to have to ultimately be this vote on a rules change. And I think that's where this issue and maybe immigration, a handful of other issues in the Senate are going to come to a head. Democrats are going to have to decide, is there any chance we can do this? Do we have the vote and let it fail? They're really just up against that wall here on the 50-vote threshold.